And speaking of the Patriots, we're going to move on to topic number 3. And right now we have Pat's pretty mediocre. They played the New York Jets last week this past week rather in week 2. The Jets are one of the worst teams in the NFL. They got a brand new rookie quarterback. So do the Patriots. But it was kind of a sloppy game. They didn't absolutely dominate the Jets. I think they were in control the whole time, Brandon. What are your thoughts on the Pats' week 2 win against the New York Jets?
Well, I had been warning people. I said, hey, you got 2 rookie quarterbacks going against each other. It's probably not going to be a pretty game, and it really wasn't on both sides. I mean, obviously, I think Mac Jones played a heck of a lot better than the rookie quarterback for the Jets did, Zach Wilson. And obviously, I think Zach Wilson had basically 3 unforced errors that we call them, where he basically just gave the ball away. I don't even think the Patriots had to make a play at that point on 3 of those interceptions. The one play where the defense actually made a play was the first interception when J.C. Jackson got his hand on the ball, basically made it a tip drill to himself, and then secured the interception. The other 3 interceptions by Wilson were just some of the worst decisions I've seen a young quarterback make over the last year or so, to be honest, in any type of football. So it's just really one of those things when you got 2 rookie quarterbacks going up against each other, you got to give the nod to Mac Jones here, who didn't make many mistakes, and many at all, to be honest. And I got to say this, too. He improved from last week. So even though I know the offense, I've still been saying, looks very pedestrian and basically looks still like the same offense that was led by Cam Newton last year, I still think Mac Jones improved over week 1 to week 2, made less mistakes. And specifically, I'm going to bring up that play that he made where he just tossed the ball behind him in week 1 and just made such a bad decision. In week 2, he made the decision of, I'm going to take a sack here and I'm going to take the ball with me and we're just going to move on to the next down, and was playing smart game management football. And I think right now, in the point of his career as a rookie right now, obviously with only a couple of starts underneath his belt, I think game management mode is appropriate. Let's trust the run game. Let's follow that run game. Let's dish the ball out to our running backs out of the backfield, like James White as well, with some short passes. And I think they're even doing that, a lot of short passes with the wide receivers as well, trying to get Mac Jones comfortable and into a rhythm going into these next few games. But I will say, like I said, the offense looks very pedestrian, much like last year. But I do think Mac Jones improved from week 1 to week 2, and I was happy to see that.
Yeah, I think it was an ugly win, no question. They let the Jets kind of beat themselves with the 4 interceptions from Zach Wilson. And I would say those weren't total fault. Some of the Patriots beat writers, even like a Greg Bedard, Curran, or other guys, said that there was also, in addition to the 1 year, there's another one where Corey Davis actually didn't finish running his route, and that's why the throw was off, and that's why the Pats picked it off. There was 2 that were really bad, that they were totally Zach Wilson's fault. But I think what the Patriots did here is, they sort of, didn't chuck the ball downfield after they intercepted the rookie quarterback on the other side 2 times. You used to see this with Jameis Winston when he was back with Tampa Bay, where the Tampa Bay defense would get a turnover, they would get a takeaway, and then Jameis Winston would try to make a big play and he would give it right back. The Pats didn't want to do that against the Jets. They said the Jets are going to turn the ball over. We're going to force those turnovers, and then we're going to play ball control. We're going to play safely. We're not going to turn it over ourselves, and that's how we're going to win. It wasn't pretty. A lot of Pats fans are saying throw the ball downfield. What's up with all these screen passes, these short passes? And Mac Jones actually did miss a couple throws. There was one in particular where Hunter Henry was actually open in the end zone. I think it was in the 3rd quarter maybe. But the biggest thing with the Patriots that's disappointing to me right now is the offensive line. That was supposed to be a huge strength of this team. I know Trent Brown was out this past week, starting right tackle. That right tackle spot right now is in shambles. Justin Herron and then Durant, who they just picked up a couple weeks ago, they both did not play well against the Jets. This offensive line was supposed to be their bread and butter, and it's been one of the weakest parts of their team so far. Some of that is timing. Some of that is, guys getting reps together. Some of that is it's a new quarterback. It's knowing where he's going to be when he drops back. And then some of the passing, it's just a bunch of new guys. You've got Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Hunter Henry, you've got Jonnu Smith, 4 brand new players who are featured players in the offense, and they just have to get on the same page with timing with the quarterback and with the offensive line. So they are a work in progress. It's not going to be pretty for at least another few weeks. But to me, the offensive line is the biggest appointment for them right now. They dominating up front, push and get, James and Ramondre Stevenson, if he ever gets carries again after fumbling in week 1. JJ Taylor, those guys need holes. And the offensive line is supposed to be the strength of this team. They're the ones that have been the biggest disappointment. So that's what's got to improve with the Patriots, because I think then there's a chain reaction where if the line plays better, they give Jones more time. When he has more time, then he can go downfield. But you can't throw it downfield if you don't have protection. And that's what the Patriots dealt with against the Jets on Sunday.
Yeah, you have got to protect your quarterback at all times in the NFL. And not only a rookie quarterback, or even a veteran quarterback, you've got to protect them at all times. But we could even say with a rookie quarterback, you want to protect them even more. You don't want them taking hits, obviously, and rattling their confidence, but you want to give them more time to be able to read the defense. So the more time they can give Mac Jones back there, I think it will definitely help the offense. But I've got to quickly say this for the Patriots fans that are kind of complaining about these short dink and dunk passes, like, where have you been? This has been the Patriots of old. Honestly, that's exactly what Tom Brady would do, would carve you up with short routes with Julian Edelman and Rob Gronkowski down the slot or down the pipe, right? Occasionally looking for a deep ball. And that's, what the Patriots are doing right now. So I still think they're kind of playing still the Josh McDaniels offense. He might be tailoring it slightly for Mac Jones, where we're not, throwing it all at him right now. But I still think this looks very similar to the Patriots offenses of the past. We just need our weapons to kind of pick up a little bit more and do a little bit more things. And we need to score some more points, and we need to be a little bit more consistent. And I think that's where it's lacking, the consistency. One drive, they're actually looking really good, where you're like, all right, they're moving the ball. And then the next drive, it's just 3 and out automatically. And then we're not looking good at all. So it's just really one of those things where I think consistency is big. And I think it'll help Mac Jones too. But I think you're right. I think if the offensive line can pick it up here, they are the key to everything. And I've always said this, even as a football coach, they're the people that don't get enough credit. The offensive and defensive lines on football, if you cannot control the line of scrimmage, you don't have zero chance of winning the game. So I think that's really one of those things where if the Patriots line can step it up and give Mac Jones a little bit more time and even give those running backs a couple more options of holes to run through, that'll give the running game a great chance. And obviously we know the passing game can feed off of that as well. So I still think, obviously it's early here, but I do want to see over these next few weeks, I want to see the offense pick up a little bit. I want to see some more points on the board. But I will say, once again, I think from week 1 to week 2, Mac Jones looked good and did improve. And I think with a rookie quarterback, that's all you can ask for.
Folks, if you like this show, you're watching it right now on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. That's Comeback Sports on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, Comeback Sports. And then all the cut-ups that our awesome producer, Ben Kudo, puts together after the show, that'll all filter to your YouTube channel. You don't have to go search for it. It's just right there in your subscriptions.